2018 Zimbabwean general election. General elections were held in Zimbabwe on 30 July 2018 to elect the president and members of both houses of parliament. Held 8 months after the 2017 coup d'etat, the election was the first since independence in which former President Robert Mugabe was not a candidate. ZANU-PF, the country's ruling party, went into the election with majorities in both the National Assembly and the Senate. The main opposition, the Movement for Democratic Change Tsvangirai, contested the election as part of the MDC Alliance, a coalition that included the MDC and 6 smaller parties. The election gave ZANU-PF control of both houses in the 9th Parliament of Zimbabwe, though with reduced majorities in each. The MDC Alliance gained seats in both houses, closely corresponding to ZANU-PF losses. In the presidential election, Emmerson Mnangagwa, who became president as a result of the 2017 coup, ran for election as the ZANU-PF candidate. Tsvangirai, the MDC leader expected to run against him, died in February 2018, and Nelson Chamisa, the new party leader, replaced him as the MDC Alliance candidate. In results that were disputed by the MDC Alliance, Mnangagwa won with 50.8% of the vote to Chamisa's 44.3%, giving him the majority needed to avoid a runoff. Mnangagwa won 6 of the country's 10 provinces, while Chamisa won 4, including the 2 metropolitan provinces, Harare and Bulawayo. It was the closest since 2008 that an opposition party had come to breaking ZANU-PF's 38-year hold on power. Background: the likelihood of the elections taking place was called into doubt following the 2017 coup. On 22 November 2017, a ZANU-PF spokesman said that Emmerson Mnangagwa would serve out the remainder of Robert Mugabe's term before the elections due to be held during or before September 2018. On 20 March 2018, Mnangagwa said he was looking forward to holding elections in July 2018. In May, 30 July was set as the date of the election. Electoral System. The President of Zimbabwe is elected using the 2-round system. The 270 members of the National Assembly consist of 210 members elected in single-member constituencies and 60 women elected by proportional representation in 10 6-seat constituencies. Voters cast a single vote, which is counted for both forms of election. The 80 members of the Senate include 60 members elected from 10 6-member constituencies, also based on the provinces, by proportional representation using party lists. The lists must have a woman at the top and alternate between men and women. The other 20 seats include 2 reserved for people with disabilities and 18 for traditional chiefs. According to the Constitution of Zimbabwe, the elections are required to be held before the official expiry date of the current parliamentary term, which is due to end on 21 August 2018. Presidential candidates. In 2015, long-term President Robert Mugabe announced that he would run for another term in 2018, following the events of a military coup d'etat in November 2017 and his deposition as leader of ZANU-PF. Mugabe resigned amidst parliamentary impeachment hearings on 21 November 2017. His successor Mnangagwa was chosen as the ZANU-PF candidate shortly after taking office. On 29 July 2018, Mugabe announced he would not support Emmerson Mnangagwa or the ZANU-PF party. It was unknown whether Tsvangirai, the longtime Zimbabwe opposition leader, would have run in the elections following an announcement on 6 February 2018 which stated that Tsvangirai was critically ill and an MDC party source said we should brace for the worst. Tsvangirai subsequently died on 14 February. Nelson Chamisa replaced Tsvangirai as the MDC candidate. On 20 October 2017, the Coalition of Democrats, or CODE, a group formed by 9 political parties, nominated the leader of the Renewal Democrats of Zimbabwe, Emmerson Mnangagwa, to be their presidential candidate in the election. Joyce Mujiru, previously the vice president of ZANU-PF before being ousted from the party in 2014, also registered her candidacy. Former Deputy Prime Minister Tsvangirai, who leads a breakaway faction of the MDC after falling out with Nelson Chamisa, was also a candidate. In total, 23 candidates stood for election. Conduct. On 18 January 2018, Mnangagwa spoke to the Financial Times in an interview in which he invited the EU, UN, and the Commonwealth to send missions to Zimbabwe in order to monitor the elections. On 29 July 2018, former President Mugabe gave a surprise press conference during which he stated he would not vote for Mnangagwa and ZANU-PF, the party he founded and led for decades. Instead, he expressed the wish to vote for his longtime rival party, the Movement for Democratic Change MDC, led by Nelson Chamisa. The credibility of the elections was questioned by both Zimbabwean citizens and the international community. The opposition party claimed that people aged 141 are registered to vote, and in one instance a single address had over 100 registered voters. Academic Tony Reeler argued people should boycott the poll, otherwise they would legitimize the 2017 coup. Opposition leader Nelson Chamisa indicated that his party would participate in the election, but requested the intervention of the Southern African Development Community and African Union. The Zimbabwe Republic Police were accused of requiring officers to cast postal ballots in front of their supervisors, which is contrary to electoral law, which requires them to be a secret ballot. The Zimbabwe Electoral Commission (ZEC) removed ghost voters and duplicate voters. In 2015, the ZEC stated that diaspora voting would be allowed in the 2018 election, but Mnangagwa ruled this out. Elmer Brock claimed that ZANU-PF transported people to vote in an area in which they did not live. On 1 August, the opposition accused the government of rigging the vote. Just after the elections, supporters of ZANU-PF attacked houses of some MDC members. In subsequent riots by MDC supporters, the army opened fire and killed 3 people, while 3 others died of their injuries the following day. Although the election process was peaceful, the main opposition party MDC Alliance claimed that ZANU-PF and ZEC rigged the presidential election results to announce Emmerson Mnangagwa the winner. The party claimed that there was manipulation of figures, which did not tally with what was recorded on relevant forms issued at each polling station. Opinion polls, ZANU polls. Results. On 1 August, the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission released preliminary results which show that the ruling party ZANU-PF had won the majority of seats in Parliament. On 3 August, the Commission declared incumbent President Emmerson Mnangagwa the winner with just over 50% of the vote. This was the closest that an opposition party had come to ending ZANU-PF hold on power since 2008, when Tsvangirai led the field in the first round and forced Mugabe into a runoff from which he subsequently withdrew due to intimidation and violence by pro-Mugabe supporters, while the MDCT won a plurality of seats in the House of Assembly. President. Results by province. Only candidates with more than 10,000 votes are listed. House of Assembly. Senate. Aftermath. Within days after the election, there were protests by the Movement for Democratic Change opposition. The army opened fire on demonstrators and bystanders and killed 6 people. In the following days, many opposition supporters were arrested, according to opposition leaders and human rights groups. On 10 August, it was announced that Mnangagwa's inauguration, which had been scheduled for 12 August, would be delayed after Chamisa petitioned to challenge the election results in court, with a ruling due by the end of the month. On 24 August 2018, the Supreme Court of Zimbabwe dismissed Chamisa's challenge and officially declared Mnangagwa the winner in a unanimous ruling. The Chief Justice Luke Malaba noted that Chamisa refused both a recount and access to the ballot boxes. Mnangagwa's inauguration and official swearing-in was then held on 26 August. 2 Washington-based entities, American International Republican Institute (IRI) and National Democratic Institute (NDI), which were involved in the Zimbabwe International Election Observation Mission (ZIM), expressed doubts that the poll had a standard accepting value. Manisha Singh, the U.S. Assistant Secretary of State for Economic and Business Affairs, told a congressional hearing that, until the new government of President Emmerson Mnangagwa shows signs of changing its ways, the U.S. government will not lift sanctions against Zimbabwe.